probably wasn't clear.
Good evening, everyone. It's 7 p.m. and the Civic Club closes at 8 p.m. So we'd like to go ahead and get started on time. This meeting is being called to order.
Officer Johnson.
If you don't have an agenda, let me know. Make sure that you have one. There are 9 agenda points.
He is not. He's not the he's been suspended from all the
That's what I wanted to see. As long as you didn't care.
So there's 9 agenda points. The first one is call to order. The second one is parliamentarian Anthony Cannon's report. Anthony Cannon is not at the building, but he advised he is coming. Meeting minutes, adopting or not adopting the meeting minutes. Our old business, President Samuel Kateka report. 5, the treasurer's report. What is the total number of paid membership, current bank balance, and expenditures? Number 6 is mowing the 5 entrances. Who is mowing?
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Would someone like to lead us in prayer, please?
I'll do that.
Thank you.
Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Thank you. We're going to have one new thing added to the meeting tonight. I'm just substituting for Mrs. Bale. Because we are people of a certain age, and we tend to legal on what we're going to say. Each person has a right to speak, but 3 minutes only. Young man in the back, raise your hand. When he says your 3 minutes is up, we ask you, please, to sit down. And only 3 minutes per person. And please do not interrupt each other. So the first thing we're going to do is we have a special guest, and that's a Girl Scout. Are you ready to present yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is Deja Williams from the Girl Scout Troop 14503. I am completing my Girl Scout Civil War project. My project is to assist the residents with replacing the AC filters in their homes. My goal is to complete 20 houses. Once I have a list of homeowners,
No, sir. I'm not going to do that. No.
once I have a list of homeowners, I will go into the homes and clean out the AC vents and document the type of AC filter that is needed. I have a sign-up sheet in the back, and I have a sign-up sheet in the back with me today for those who would like to sign up. And if you have any questions, you can raise my arm. And thank you in advance.
Everyone kind of understand what she's doing. You know those filters that you go to Home Depot to pay $5 for? She's doing it free for you, but you have to sign up and she'll come to your home. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. That is correct.
And a point of record, and this is a wonderful thing, in order to do this Girl Scout project, someone had to sign off on it. So I was invited by the Boy Scouts, and I have signed off on this. That's the only way that one can proceed forward, assuming that the Girl Scout wants to do it. So this was actually discussed back in April and May, and I invited her to speak last month. It just did not work out for her to speak, and so now we're moving forward. And it's a free program that enables those that don't have the funds or not interested or that need to have AC filter removed from their home and replaced by the Girl Scouts of America.
Thank you.
When will this be over on this?
We're trying to get all the names by the end of this month so that we can start the first weekend in September, going in and replacing everything.
Okay, if you need more names, let us know so we can put it on the village place, on our newspaper.
We need more names.
Okay.
And now we have the reading of the minutes, please. The reading of the minutes, sir.
Windsor Village Civic Club General Meeting Minutes, July 9, 2019. The regular meeting of the Windsor Village Civic Club was called to order at 7 p.m. on July 9, 2019 at 7 p.m. in Windsor Village Park. 42 people were present. The minutes were not approved because they were not read. Open issues. Samuel Pateca illegally presided over the general meeting despite being suspended as president and relieved of all duties and responsibilities. The prayer and the pledge were recited over Mr. Pateca's attempt at calling the meeting to order. Ms. Rosa Bryant made a motion to open all the meetings with the Lord's Prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. The motion was seconded and passed. New business. Mr. Anthony Kane, the parliamentarian, seconded all four of Mr. Pateca's motions. 1, not to open the general meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. 2, not to open the general meeting with the Lord's Prayer. 3, motion to only publish the Village Voice in English. And 4, to purchase director and officer insurance. The first motion did not pass because everyone voted it down with the exception of 2 people who voted for the motion. The second motion did not pass because everyone voted against it. The third motion did not pass because everyone voted against with the exception of 4 to 5 people. Ms. Lily Lacey and Ms. Angela Robinson both pointed out at different times during the meeting that the president cannot make a motion. This fourth motion was lost because no one seconded the motion. Mr. Pateca then made an illegal motion to adjourn the meeting. Some people chose to stay and others left. Ms. Lacey then made the motion that Vice President Elizabeth Bell be in charge of the general meetings. Mr. Jesse Reed seconded the motion. The motion passed despite 2 people objecting to the motion.
And the meeting minutes also failed to mention that the parliamentarian spoke to the illegal actions of the board. The board does not have the authority to remove a president. The board did not elect the president. The Windsor Village elected the president. Therefore, and the governing documents don't speak to how an elected director can be removed. So the meeting is actually, the meeting minutes, I object to the meeting minutes.
We're doing 3 minutes.
I'm objecting to the meeting minutes because they're incomplete.
All right, now, what is, Ms. Bell, you want to come on? So they put the motion.
Officer Johnson is in charge right now.
Let's go to a vote.
Let's go ahead and do the motion.
Can we do the motion?
What is the motion?
What is the motion?
I move that we accept the minutes as documents.
I second.
Let's put the vote, better get rid of him.
Now we need to do a motion.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Objection to the motion. In order to have any members vote, you must be in good standing. Where's the list that identifies those that are in good standing?
You're not doing 3 minutes now. Let's
There's
do
no
our
3
3
minutes. There's
minutes.
no 3 minutes. You're making things up as you go. So please
I'm
stop.
old, so I can make them up something.
In order to vote, the governing documents, 1964 documents state that you must be in good standing. Where is the list that shows that the folks that are voting are in good standing? So I'm objecting to that.
He's not, he's respecting us. Okay.
Basically, I called, and they said, did you receive this?
I did.
Well, actually, right now, they gonna hold.
I'm just saying to you that it's, the president presides over the meeting. I didn't give them the authority to preside over it. I am the president.
Well, let me not make a
Samuel Patuca suspended from his position as president? Removed.
We're making a motion now. What was the motion?
Oh,
There's a procedural
Go ahead, make the motion.
the motion is that Samuel Patuca be removed as president.
I second.
All in favor? All in favor?
Don't you count the ayes, they're counting the hands.
This is an illegal motion. You have to have a list of members in good standing to do voting. This is against the board.
Thank you, everybody.
This is against the bylaws and the governing documents. In order to be a voting member, you have to be in good standing. There's no list that has been presented that shows who's paid and who has not. So you've got to follow the rules. There's procedure.
Excuse me, sir, why don't you follow the law which states that that's illegal? It is illegal to require membership be in good standing according to Texas.
These are the
code.
governing documents. You're not a lawyer.
It has been-
It's the
I
governing
don't have to be a lawyer to know the law, and the law.
All right, what's next?
Over the governing
It
documents.
has been moved and second, he's no longer the president. What's next on the
We
agenda?
have no official.
Yes, 18 people voted in favor of the motion to remove Sam Patuca as president. Did anyone vote in opposed?
In order to have a vote, you have to have notification of 30 days. This is not notification of 30 days. You guys are making it up as you go. You didn't give the letter to the community. You're doing things inappropriately, and that's the problem.
Sam, you're talking about the meeting. Sam, if you're president, you need to take us to the court of law.
Ms. Law,
And they're not doing it. They're doing what they want.
The president doesn't run the meeting, the parliamentarian runs the meeting. So the motion's been made and seconded and voted on. This is in the bylaws. We have to go by Robert's rules of order. Everybody needs a book and needs to see it go online and buy their book.
Not that you did, this is everybody now.
Okay.
Just continue the meeting.
You did.
I'd like to say to the members present here tonight of this community, when we voted for Mr. Samuel here, we thought he was going to be a good president, a good leader of this community. But ever since he's been voted on as president, he has done nothing but incite riots and cause confusion. We have been able to move any farther than we were April 1 when he was voted on and put into office. I'm asking you tonight to join the board. If he does not respect the board, we cannot lead you. We cannot protect you, your rights. We had a meeting the other night. He came out to disrupt it. We couldn't have our board meeting. We asked the officers to come tonight to sit in, to see that he stay in his place and we stay in our places. And the best thing for him now, Mr. Samuel, is to get out of the door. It doesn't make any difference about you having.
You don't have the authority to do that.
You don't have any.
What is it?
Let me finish talking.
Under what grounds? You have to show respect. Respect is two
Point of order.
street.
Sam, you haven't been recognized by here.
All right, so what do we need to do now for the business?
What are the grounds? Well, I mean, you're talking about removing the president. Under what grounds? Under what grounds? What are the grounds? Please identify what have I done? I'd love to know about it. Deal with what? Disrespectful? Because I have an opinion? Because I have an opinion? You don't get to remove people because of an opinion, man.
We need a volunteer for this committee. We need your help because of this. So now we're looking for volunteer for committee. What's the first committee we have, President, you want someone to volunteer for?
the sheets are on the table back there. Every committee, beautification, welcome committee, social committee, it's 7 of them. And we're asking for volunteers. We have about one name on about 3 or 4 sheets, and that's it. We can't do everything. Somebody got to volunteer.
It's on the.
Absolutely shameful.
What kind of announcement? Go ahead, Ms. Bailey.
I have an announcement. The board is in agreement for hiring an attorney. And we need an attorney before we go to court, which is September the 9th. And if we do not have an attorney, we will reset the date until we find one. This is in Anthony Canaan versus Windsor Village, or Windsor Village Heights. But we have a lady that we have talked to, and she's experienced in these type of cases. She just completed the case and won, and this case involved an HOA. And she was unable to attend the meeting tonight, but her fee is $250 an hour. And if you want to know more about her name is Susan Rice. Some of you may have heard about her. But you can check her website, and September 9th, we have to go to court. And like I say, if we don't have an attorney, they're going to reset the date again. And we wanted to bring that information to you guys, just to tell you areas of practice. It's civil and federal court litigation. It's aggressive enforcement of deed restrictions, maintenance fees / assessment collections, corporate counsel contracts, commercial real estate transaction, and creating and amending government documents, bankruptcy, liens, and foreclosure litigations. And she's also one of the co-authors of Chapter 204, Texas Property Code. And this firm that she's with is still actively involved in working with the Texas legislature with regards to drafting legislations. Like I say, if you want to know more about her, she has a website. And we were trying to get her here tonight to talk to you, but we are going to put, since the board is in agreement, we talked to her. And she's been an attorney over 30 years, and anyway, she's interested in taking our case, and we want to see what the body says about it.
You want to say more about Anthony's case?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, in Anthony's case, Anthony is pleading for, he's requesting $17,175. That's a settlement.
That's his attorney fees that he spent.
$17,175. Go ahead.
So Anthony's case is, Anthony is in violation of deed restrictions, and he, we filed the case, and now he's asking us to settle, and he's asking us to give him money and let him get away with not having deed restrictions enforced on his property ever again.
And some of the things that Anthony mentioned on his settlement does not, it's against our deed restriction. So we're going to read over it thoroughly and X out that's not in, deed restriction, that is in deed restriction.
Has she looked, the attorney you want to hire, say September 9th?
We go to court September 9th.
But has she looked at this to see where we
I
are?
sent her copies.
You got my hand.
Yeah. I'd also like to recommend, if there becomes a problem with an attorney, you can contact Volunteer Lawyers of America, specifically Veronica Jacobs, or you can speak with me, Perry. I don't know when to go to those. So, and they, Volunteer Lawyers of America, they do this kind of thing with federal organizations.
You said the name again?
Volunteer
No,
Lawyers.
the name.
For Veronica Jacobs, for Volunteer Lawyers.
Veronica.
I think you're already associated with VCARE, so we just want to take one of those if we have any problems. Volunteer Lawyers of America, a fee, and not be a problem, but just for those two, if you need.
Mr. Robinson?
I have missed a few meetings due to illness. However, I'm listening to you now, and you're saying we are still fighting this case with Anthony. How in the world can we be fighting the case with him and he get on the board? That affects the case.
Thank you.
That's why he's
How
not here
can we
tonight.
do that?
That's why he's not here.
That's why he's not here. That's not what the president
That doesn't at least be a problem.
said he was coming.
And,
Yeah, that's what he told me, that he was coming.
Yeah.
oh, Ms. Lee?
They know we can't remember very well. But I do think that Anthony owns Civic Club already, the community. Anthony has, we've been in court with Anthony several times, and he has been given court orders to pay. So maybe we have to subtract that what we owe from Anthony, but if it comes out Anthony owns the Civic Club, the lawyer will give you the citizen.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. What, 4 years ago, Civic Club took Anthony to Justice of the Peace Court and for a fence that he had, the one that was all the way to his sidewalk. And after going back and forth, he lost, and he was ordered to pay $800 and remove the fence. Then the removal of the fence definition, he felt just to take the fabric down, not the poles. And so he did that. He paid $800. So that was an agreement that he violated deed restriction. Then he built that other fence that's close to his house, right on the overhang. And the Civic Club took him to court, and back and forth many times. There was an issue about the second deed amendment and the third deed amendment, and there was not enough signatures, so those two were voided. But Anthony is saying since the Civic Club didn't give him official notice within 30 days, he could keep his fence. That's his stance right now. Even though he had a fence before. And now, just like Michelle was saying, he wants us to pay $17,500 for his lawyer fees, say that we were wrong, and give him permission to keep his fence, and give the next generations, whoever owns that home, to keep the fence, and allow him to continue the way he is.
And to not be another charge for any deed restriction violations. And
Please,
so,
before you speak, be recognized by the chair,
sorry, I apologize.
because I'm timing you.
Ms. Allen?
Anthony was ordered to take the fence down in its entirety, which included the poles, and he did not do that. The poles are still there.
Michelle, you want to go?
You're out of order.
I'm sorry.
Oh, so he's still in violation of that court order.
According to Michelle, what are going, but the Justice of the Peace saying that they don't have a bite.
No, the poles need to come down, but the Justice of the Peace, I believe, said that there wasn't anything more they could do, and that's why we switched courts. But the poles still need to come down.
And then as far as the court about him losing that $141,000, then he had went back to court and they reopened the case and then they appealed, and then that's when the judge said that everything that was stated before was voided, the $141,000, and he was and now they're continuing the case. So that's where we're at right now.
Regarding the $141,000, that was given to the judge, it was false report, because it was given to the judge that we had, Section 4 was a POA, Property Owners Association, and they said it was only 105 lots in Section 4, when it was checked out by the court, we found that in section 4 is 136 houses, and that that was an error. They didn't have enough signatures to make it legal to be a POA. Back to this dispute we have here, all of this happened because we didn't have a defense law. We didn't have a law to defend us. The next thing, it went through the judge, and it went through what's the
Or, mediator.
mediator. And by us not having anyone there to defend us, they was able to do what they wanted to do. And that's what they came up with. And so we don't agree with him leaving the fence board, the rods up there. We don't agree with that. We do not exempt him or anyone else from violating the deed restriction. When you move in this neighborhood, you bought your house, you're supposed to have gotten a copy of the deed restriction for your section that said you got to abide by it. And I didn't get my constitution until later. But what we have done as a board has been correctly done by the constitution of this Civic Club. So it goes back to 1962.
A lot of the legal fees that we're observing now, a lot of the legal issues that we're observing now, in particular the lawsuit that was awarded to Ms. Lucas to the tune of $42,000 plus, a lot of this could have been avoided with a $800 insurance policy. And what I mean by that is a director's and officer's insurance, that if the board conducted themselves inappropriately, if they did things that were incorrect, that insurance would cover, at minimum, to have an attorney represent the interests of Windsor Village. Back in April, I presented this board with an insurance quote. I'm not an insurance salesperson, and I have no skin in the game, but I recognize that this board and former boards need to have insurance. And so the motion was brought, it was brought to the attention of the board in April, and I had a motion the last general meeting, and no one seconded it. So one of the things that I would encourage the homeowners to do is to keep this board aware of the importance of having insurance. It's a small amount of money, but it covers a lot of issues.
Okay, the number one, the board didn't vote for it, and he only brought us one bid. He never gave us a name.
I gave you the entire report.
You only brought one.
It was 13 pages.
You need to bring more than one company to the board.
How many companies did you bring to the board, Ms. Bell?
Here we go.
Point of information, I thought we were talking about an attorney.
Oh, we were.
Okay, I'm getting confused now.
We were. Oh, we want someone to make a motion that we should hire this attorney.
I shall move.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded. All in favor?
How many attorneys? No, wait a second. You have to have a discussion. When you have, before you have a vote, you have a discussion. Point of order. And the discussion is how many attorneys were brought to the table. We had. You're talking about one insurance company. You have one lady that's asking $250 an hour. How many other attorneys can you bring to the body? And if you have only brought one, I suggest that we not vote on this.
I will contact
We need more than one bid on an attorney that charges $250 an hour.
A lot of them, they work through the federal government and fees, and not gonna do this.
Okay.
I would like to address that issue.
I would like for us to vote that this will be contingent, that we will hire her if this doesn't go through.
Okay.
I would like to address the issue of the low-cost creature attorneys. I'd like to point out that we did utilize this service 4 or 5 years ago when they were doing the third amendment. And I'm very sorry, ma'am, but we found that those attorneys were worth the money that we paid them, which was nothing. They were not good, and that's one of the reasons why the third amendment has problems.
And in this situation, like, she deals with this, and she knows how to deal with everything. And she even knows, like, even if we lose, how to handle it too.
I'm not opposed to her at all. I'm just saying we do have other outlets.
It is inappropriate to bring to the body one attorney that charges $250. Now, that's the best this board could do?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
No, I didn't bring it. I didn't bring the attorney to the table. You have a lady that wants to be recognized.
Oh. Yes, ma'am, say.
Yes, my question is, as a resident.
Can't hear you.
As a resident of Windsor Village community and a long-time resident, I want to know, see, we have a board, we have a president. What becomes our obligation when we lose these suits? Where is the money coming from if we lose?
Very good question.
Because what kind of, we need to see an ID restriction. If an incident like that occurs, I want to know what my responsibility would be there. Because I can't afford to pay somebody $141,000 or $17,500, whatever. Therefore, I believe that we need to have not only one attorney come meet with the board, and that board would pose the questions that residents have to the attorneys. And I agree, I think we need to at least interview more than one. And that way, then the board needs to bring along with representatives from those offices that are willing to come to speak to us and to speak to what our responsibilities are. Because when money is owed, somebody is being obligated to pay it.
Very good.
Hold on a second. And I don't know if I mentioned this, we have a 30-day settlement, okay? If we don't have an attorney by the time we go to court on the 9th, then they'll reset the date to September 24th.
Yes, I said the date.
Regarding your question about who owes the money, we are a nonprofit corporation. The corporation owes the money. So if somebody comes after somebody wins this lawsuit and Anthony's awarded $1,000 billion or whatever, he can only go after the corporation. He cannot go after us as individual homeowners. That is one of the reasons why we are a nonprofit corporation.
That's not completely true.
One of the things is that Ms. Bell is in charge of the meeting.
Directors can be held personally liable for the actions of the board.
Ms. Bell, and she's chairperson.
I'm not recognizing her. I hear what you're saying. I'm listening to
Until
you.
she addresses you, you don't open your mouth. And that's the first thing you get to learn how to do is to follow order, follow directions. You can't lead anybody on your own like that.
We've heard you in the last
Just
one.
a second, that's it. Ms. Bell is in charge. And until she calls your name and recognizes you, you shut up.
You're being disrespectful, and it's a reflection of who you are. We know who you are.
Ms. Bell, you're in charge.
The universe has heard
You
you.
should shut up.
The universe hears you.
Okay, we will.
Yeah, you just
Am I recognized?
Yeah. I don't know your name, but.
I heard the names of the last meeting. I also would like to hear the financial report.
Absolutely. I've been asking for that report for the last 3 meetings. I'm not talking to you, sir. I'm responding to him.
talking to you.
You've been heard.
Mr. Johnson.
I've got the floor, I'm John Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
And I would like to hear our financial report. It's on the sheet I got. So can I hear financial report so that we can continue in order of the business of the meeting?
Here, here.
That's not the
Well, it's still an order of it. We heard the minutes.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. We have to
Can I?
Seems
I'll
like-
I'll answer that, because that does pertain to your vote. Right now, we have $5,900. Dues that come in, it's only like 4 to 8 dues every month coming in.
Well, sir, I understand you're giving me a balance, but you're not giving me a report of what you did from one month to the next.
Absolutely.
So if you don't have that, that's not a balanced financial.
We'll have one for your next meeting, sir.
Have one for the entire membership, it's not for one person.
I'm talking about, oh, yeah. Go ahead. Oh, Ms. Benson.
Put my 30 minutes on, in reference to Mrs. Samuel, and I'm gonna be very honest with you all, we're in trouble. I have been out here 44 years. It has nothing to do with this board. It's prior boards and everything. We're in a new field now. We've never had this much trouble in the village before. We need your help to help us get out of this situation. I'm not ashamed to say we're in trouble. Okay, what we need to do, we need to raise some money, we need to get good lawyers, and we need to defend ourselves. It does us no good every meeting to keep growing. I don't care what the past board done. I can only say what I learned from their mistakes and what we need to do now. We need to raise some money, we need to settle the lawsuits, we need to get committees, and we need to know that when I put my house on the market, it'll sell in 1 week. That's what we need. So let's get busy, all of us mature people, all of us gray-headed people that has so much knowledge. He's a young man, he's good for the community, but us old gray-headed people, we know how to work and get something done. Let's get busy.
We need positive thinking. We need positive motion. We don't need the
Yes.
That's all you bring.
You're out of order. I mean, if you're gonna follow one, you're out of order.
Johnson, you have the floor.
That's how I feel, man.
We are trying to go forward with
Yes,
this.
yes.
You, the only thing you do is come straight on negative things. You never have anything positive to say. You come
The Girl Scouts of America is very popular. But we're not gonna, this is not about Samuel Kateka. This is about the health of the community.
You and what you do, and what you did while you were in office. Because you never had anything positive. Nothing positive.
Hey, everybody, instead of he's sitting here, y'all direct the questions to Ms. Bell. Do not direct nothing to him to upset him so he can come back and or nothing like that. What been done in the past, been done in the past. We're in the present.
Yes.
So y'all need to take it that way. But he's allowed to be here.
Okay.
But he needs to learn how to
There's a
close
hand
his
in the
mouth.
back. There's a hand in the back. There's a hand in the back.
Okay, Ms. Hamilton?
Yeah, my comment, but it keeps butting in, so how is that going to be handled?
Excuse me?
It keeps butting in,
Well.
so how is that going to be handled?
Because people keep shooting in directing
No, it's
things
not
out.
upsetting him, he
That's
needs to
really-
dismiss.
So while he had said he been sitting here taking his notes, doing what he do and things like that. And
But it keeps butting in, it's taking out his turn.
So you're saying, one other thing, you're saying that by the next meeting, you need to see a financial report. Is that so?
We'll have.
I'm saying you need to see a financial report at every meeting.
You're right, we're trying to get there, okay.
I mean, if you don't, who's the treasurer?
He's been given a mirror meeting. Is this your first meeting?
Oh, well, this is my first meeting in a while because of,
He's been given.
seems like the chaos that goes on.
It's-
That's why I haven't been good.
He has not been giving them to every meeting. He wasn't here the last meeting or the board meeting, the last board meeting, he didn't
I
have
have been the president.
Close your mouth.
I've been the president of this city.
Mr. Brown, we
Yes,
will
and
have
I've
a.
stayed on the board for 16 years.
That's right.
So I know a little bit of how it's supposed to be. And I've never seen a meeting handled like this. Number one, you know, he always going through the pledge of allegiance and prayer. We used to have solid prayer. And we used to go through our minutes of the meeting, our treasurer report, and anything the board have recommended that the civic club does. Now, that don't mean that it don't come up to a vote. And what I haven't seen in the voice is that, I don't even know who's a member of the board. That, this letter that y'all sent out, it should have the list of the board members.
Let me interrupt you. When we first took over, we did put the names of the board members and officers, but we don't put it every time we print the paper because it takes ink, takes money.
Well,
Okay.
I mean,
If you want to know who the board members are,
a one sheet deal, you can put the names of who's who.
okay, we can introduce the board members to you tonight if you like to know them.
But I don't think
Yeah,
that's necessary.
yeah.
We did that 3 village voices ago.
Yeah.
It's not our fault that he's not paying attention to it. And that village voice.
You got all,
You don't have to
Mr. Cruz, you got all.
Well, I know, when did they go, it's not, it's been going on for a long time. We've had better papers and we've had worse papers. And it depends on who, editor.
Yes.
Back when I was doing it, I would gather information. from the
Can I
board.
interrupt you for a second? We're asking for volunteers.
I
On each
understand
committee.
that.
Put your name on the list and help us.
I
That's
put
what
my
you're
name on the list when I can see an organization that's working. I don't want to be in a corrupt like
We asking for help.
I know you're asking for
Oh,
help.
I'm sorry.
You need
Ms.
help.
Lucas, excuse me. Go ahead.
I would like to say this to you that are out here tonight. If you don't want this monkey dilly doing going on, take a vote and tell this man to get out the door. Give the officer permission to take him out the door. If he's disrupting the meeting, we can't talk, we can't decide on anything. So the best place for him to be is out the door.
You're disorganized, that's what you can't think,
Leave
okay?
him alone. Best thing to do is leave him on the village.
I have another announcement. I'm gonna interrupt y'all for a second. I had a young man and I were out there distributing papers yesterday. Okay, she saw a gray-headed lady with a cap on and shorts with a golf club in her hand. That was me. He saw me because he made the block. If you didn't get a village voice, it's not my fault. You didn't get one because there's loose dogs in the neighborhood. And I encourage you guys to call downtown and report these areas where these loose dogs are. I turned the corner, the dog got up, I left.
There's a lot of stray dogs running around, it's terrible.
And we were also in, we were in section 6, and the young man went up on the porch, there were 3 dogs. So y'all need to call downtown and report all these little dogs in the neighborhood. Also, all these abandoned cars on the streets, flags, stickers expired, registration expired. That's what we need, those are the areas we need help in, sir. You see something, say something, make a phone call. We can't do it all.
You got 15 minutes.
Any comments, concerns?
I was gonna say about the dogs.
Okay.
I walk on the bike all the time and ride my bike. And actually, we aren't even safe with the dogs, even if they're with their owners. 'Cause I was talking, I just passing by this man, the dog actually bit me, he was with his owner. So you have to be careful even with these dogs with their owners. He had the dog on the leash, and he wasn't, I didn't expect anything that he expected. As soon as I passed by, the dog just came over and started, biting or attacking me. So, yeah. And so we have to be careful with that as well. Even we always walk and I have dog clubs, even if they're with their owners, be careful. And even yesterday I was riding my bike and a dog took off from their owner's leash and he started chasing me on my bike. And so, and they would run after the dog. So these dogs are not just, just mere abandoned. They're even with their owners, they can still be dangerous.
Oh,
I need to ask you one other thing you all help. As I said, we're in need of help. We need some recommendations for fundraisers. If you know of any, please write them and just put them in, file the P.O. box, send them to the P.O. box. Yes, ma'am.
I just have a suggestion for us as a community. I think we need to take this forward to start working together.
Oh, yes.
But unless we have individuals that disrespect, and in a way authority, abuse the positions of the board, we're not going to do anything, because it's not the third time, it's not the fourth time. It's always, and I have it in video, that I see Mr. Daniels, Sam, I think,
Personnel.
That he's abusing his authority toward the members and the community. And I don't think it is healthy. We cannot even organize subcommittees or do anything if the head is not function. The body is not going to work together in agreement, because the head is not working properly. So it's something that we have to do as a community. We ask him to step down. He's still forcing himself into, and it's not gonna, we're not moving forward. We're still in the same circle, and that vicious
When you say
dark
you're not
circle.
moving forward, because what I saw tonight, what is your name, young man?
John Brown.
Mr. Brown. I saw Mr. Brown, who was once a president, right?
Yes.
And young man right here, Mr. Hall, who was once the president. We have good workers, you all. We just have to want to come together and do something. Right now, we are needing fundraisers. If you know of anything, please send it to the P.O. box so we can get on top of it. I only see positive. I'm sorry. And I always say, I have nothing against young people, but we old people have the energy and the know-how to do what we need to get done. We need to do some fundraising. We need some money. Now, if you don't want to do fundraising, this is what I ask you to do. Just go in between your managers and pull out a couple $100 bills and just give it to them. But we need the money, and we can do it.
There's a lady in the back.
Okay. Well, just say, I'm looking at Miss Samuel. We have worked together for 40 years, haven't we? And we know how to get things done. But we need your help. We need the young people, and we need some gray-haired people. Please help us out.
There's a lady in the back.
I'm sorry, yes, ma'am.
I have a question and I want to.
Sure.
My first question is, my name is Martin Watson. The entrance on Heatherbrook, the entrance. And so I'm one of the people that pick up the trash. I have a request. I put my number on this volunteer sheet. Whoever is managing or scheduled to get it cut, if you would call me or anybody else want to help out to pick the trash up before you cut the grass. I don't know who's cutting the grass, but you go up there and you have shredded take-out cups, soda cans, juice cans, and just regular paper. And when you're up there trying to pick that trash up, you almost have to use a rake to pick it up. I don't see any sense in cutting the grass if you're going to cut the paper up and shred it all over everything. Another thing is, I'm not done. Oh, I'm not done.
Well, I'm volunteering tonight.
Do you own, whoever cuts it, do they own a blower? If you're paying them to cut it, I guarantee you they own a blower. Why can't they blow the grass? It would take 15 minutes. It's beginning to look worse I just don't like the way it looks. I'm just being honest. I don't like the way it looks. I don't care if the grass is 8 inches high. If you go up there and cut it and you still got all that trash, Anybody?
I can,
Thank you for volunteering to pick up the trash. Thank you for that.
It just looks bad.
we, excuse me for a second. We do have a bid in, with a gentleman, and he says he'll, edge, cut the grass, pick up the trash at all 4 entrances for $115.
I take it.
So,
For a week?
Every time he does the whole thing.
every time he does the whole thing, it might not need doing every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Okay, hold on. This one?
I'm about to Jim, if y'all wanna do a barbecue. Fundraiser.
He's talking about the fundraiser.
We just have to,
I can get it done now.
get it organized.
And I volunteer to pay $115 a month. Put down on the paper.
I just wanted to mention that the board has entertained multiple offers from different blonde hair people, and this is yours.
We need to put that on the floor, somebody make a motion that
We're still with the attorney.
oh. Okay, let me get in touch with, their attorney. In order for her to come and talk to us, it's gonna have to be a general meeting, which is not held until the second Tuesday.
You can hold a special meeting.
We need to vote.
They want to hear it first.
Yeah.
Does everybody want to? We don't have.
Do you guys want us to make an appointment so she can come and talk to us?
Yes.
Do you want to go ahead and, yes, ma'am?
I would actually suggest that, and that, what I'm suggesting is that she at least comes for a general meeting. I would think it's appropriate. I'm gathering the board has already met with her.
We have.
Then you all already have a pretty good idea about the services and what she thinks she could do for her.
Right.
But I think it would just be a good idea, and this is one where maybe for those of us on my block, I've been on the block a long time, one of my responsibilities I would like to take on, and that is to inform the neighbors that we're going to have a general meeting, because I think you need to go in order, you all have taken the first step. But, and let me backtrack, I think you mentioned some additional individuals. The board may want to take a look at those other individuals so that we can collectively at one time have each one present what they feel they can do. Now, that may be a little naivete for some people, but the people in the community, and a lot of people don't attend meetings. I know that. I've had my periods, and it's very often for personal reasons. But I think that the more a body is informed, the better we desire to participate. And I know it's not going to be easy to get a lot of people to come out, but that's where, again, the written communication goes. And I heard one thing that I think is good. Even without knowing the lady, I kind of lean that way because it sounds as though she would have to fight to go to the court, before the court, and say that this body is working out some situations and we need to have a continuance so that it could possibly be scheduled.
No, but you still have time. I want to say something.
Sure.
We don't. We got 5 minutes.
All right.
30 seconds.
Well,
Then, the only thing I want to say is sometimes we procrastinate. We keep on. You have a board, and that board can make decisions, but we cannot. You got to give them that much credit. You got to give them that much. You know, we keep on going, come back and meet here, and meet there, and meet there. You brought, and I'm sure you've looked at it, we can come on, we can listen to the, that's where I feel, we can listen to the law. We don't know, we're not lawyers, let's listen to the law, and what the recommendation the board has made, and let's go with it. Stop
what,
procrastinating.
only thing I want to say is, if Those of you that have computers, go online to Suzanne Rice Law Firm, and you can read about it. Her profile is on there. She has worked with communities, like Ms. Bell said at first. She helped write the 204. Her law firm worked on Obama. She fought up in Richmond when they were trying to make a HOA out of the new homes because they already had it in the old homes. She won the case against Chapman.
Sure did.
And they kicked those members off the board. It was a husband and wife, president and treasurer, and they were stealing money.
Can we hire Susan Rice for just dealing with Anthony's case for now and look at a permanent lawyer later on?
Well, that's what we're doing right now, deciding for this case.
Yeah, we're gonna have one, you know.
But we're just hiring for this case, not just.
No, not for everybody else. Just for this case. Yeah, just for this case.
And Michelle has been part of the board, like us. She's very knowledgeable in many things, and she was there the whole process too, so.
There's 2 pending cases, so where would this attorney fit into the second pending case?
So, anyway.
And I believe we've got 1 minute.
One minute.
There is a motion on the floor already. Does that motion need to be?
Okay, all in favor of hiring Susan Rice for Canaan versus Windsor Village?
I shall
I
move.
second the motion.
All in favor?
All against?
Yeah, now you're gonna be good.
All against?
Well, I'm against for one reason. And that reason is why are we gonna go out and you just said you had $5,000. Where is this money for hiring a lawyer gonna come from? You gotta have a bank, to hire lawyers.
That's why we have a fundraiser.
That's right.
We're trying to have a fundraiser to raise money, so we won't spend all our dues.
Yeah, but
Money.
let's put that in front,
We get that.
so that we'll have some money. We got a good idea about it.
How was your phone number? I'm calling you. You got some good ideas, and I think I know where you live too.
Let's write this down. 713-723-4125.
All right.
And I'll be more than happy to talk to anybody in here.
John Brown on Sheriff
John
Hill?
Brown, no, 5610 Newport.
Oh,
And it's on the law in there.
okay, our time is very limited. We don't get rid of our, door prize break.
You need some help with them?
As they're doing that, somebody had emailed the board about flood insurance. Flood insurance is very inexpensive because they widen the bayou. My backyard is the bayou, and I used to pay close to $2,000. Now I'm at $400 because they reclassified it. Michelle, you said it was $3, or who's something? Oh yeah, Ms. Benson, how much was yours, $375? So, $375 at I think, depending on how high your house is, might be worth getting. And it takes 30 days for it to be effective.
Okay, we're gonna have a drawing very quick. And then, who doesn't have, who need a ticket?
Is this your phone?
Good, raise your hand.
It's
Everybody
right.
don't have a ticket.
Is your phone? Oh, she has this big. Okay. I have your phone this week. Okay.
Hey, Miss Lady, how you doing? Miss Lady.
And don't forget to sign up for the Girl Scout project. Get your free outfielders.
Mr. President.
We have 4 door prizes we're gonna give away. Can we have your attention? Listen up, guys. I'm gonna read the last 4 digits. 4694. 4694. Okay, next one. 4692.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. 4668. 4668.
Over there.
How many more? How many you got? One? You got one left? Okay, next number 4669. 4669. 4669. Meeting adjourned.
Before you leave, can you please sign this filter?
Excuse me.
Right here.
We got a motion, dismiss.
What is the